Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
You're listening to RockSlamRadio.com. From all studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So grab a groupie, throw some horns, and settle in for another fine show from RockSlamRadio.com.
It's gonna be a long, long time. Touchdown brings me around against the fine. I'm not the man they think I am at all. No, I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning up the
Good evening, Tampa Bay, and all the 55 countries listen to my communique. This is the Rockit Man Show, and we're going to talk about rock news and things you can use. We'll also even hear some of the local talent on CDs and such as that. So I want to start by saying, welcoming my co-host, David J.
Hey, it's a real pleasure being on the Rockit Man Show here in Tampa Bay, baby. You're on Talk Wild Radio and around the world, 55 different countries, man. This is a hot Rock Slam Radio is moving on. We are taking over Tampa Bay, man. Rockit Man going to the top, man. It's like a great artist coming up. A lot of interesting news items here, right, Rockit Man?
Oh, yeah. And the bell, the sound of the bell, come out fighting. Okay, now I have a little rock news here. At least 233 people were killed in a nightclub. Oh, no, say it isn't so. Not another one of, what state was that in? Rhode Island?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, when all those people died in that nightclub. That was something to me.
And a lot of that has to do with panic. Something goes on, and there's so many people that are body to body that they rush to get out, and people would just kind of cool down, reset. Really need some good security out there. Thank you for the cops out there working towards protecting everybody in a large concert environment.
Well, the thing with the other one was there was so much smoke in the room, nobody could see the exits and everything. So that's why we have exit signs in all of our buildings. Although this room probably should have one.
Yeah, when that smoke, you need to get down and crawl under the smoke. Hopefully, you have something to cover your nose with, like a handkerchief or some kind of article there. But a lot of people, especially their age groups, really go. It gets worse than that. So I've been in situations like that where they are crawling over you, jumping on, and it is something that is the way it is with people that aren't trained in that, and to evacuate an area that is heavily populated and with dangerous elements in the environment. So.
Yeah, my sister was an EMT, and she was always there right on the spot to help people out in times of great trouble and everything. But let's go into a little rock news today and see what we can come up with. Aerosmith is going to has a song pack that's being released for the rock band, and Sebastian Bach is working in a new studio album. Paul Stanley is auditioning. Of Kiss is auctioning off one of his guitars. Then that ought to be something else. That'll go for a real pretty penny.
Oh, man.
As well as his cell phone.
Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of money in those auctions of major equipment. Also, there's a really interesting item here. On Friday, Marshall debuted the new Slash amplifier at NAMM. Marshall Amplification has unveiled the SL5C Slash signature amplifier at this year's NAMM, that is National Association of Music Merchants show, at the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California. The SL5C is an all-valve as opposed to solid state. All-valve 5-watt amplifier incorporating various features. But above all else, that distinctive slash tone. Slash has collaborated with Marshall to get that working closely with Slash after the success of the AFD100. It was deemed appropriate to make a more accessible amplifier that is ideal for home or studio use.
What town is that being produced in?
That's a rollout again. That's at the NAMM Association show. NAMM is National Association of Music Merchants. It's in Anaheim, California. A lot of things going on in Anaheim with music right now. California is really on the cutting edge in America right now.
Well, out in Van Nuys, California, they produce acoustic amp. Are you familiar with that? The Jacksons used to use only acoustic amps. So they're a very good amp. I have one myself for one of my basses.
There's a major recording studio in Van Nuys called the Sound City Studio, and planned Sound City Studio Players concerts around the world by Dave Grohl. Next Thursday, January 31st, Dave Grohl's Sound City Players will stage their second concert, this time at the Hollywood Palladium. Speaking to Billboard.com, Grohl said more shows are forthcoming. And this is what he has planned. We're going to do shows all over the world. And he promised that. Of course, Dave Grohl, the Foo Fighters frontman. When I came up with the idea of taking all these performers to live stage a few months ago, my idea was to have video presentations between each performance. We'll have that at the next shows. The 17 musicians super group includes John Fogerty and Stevie Nicks. Again, uniting band members is the fact that they all recorded albums at the legendary Sun City Studio in Van Nuys, California.
Speaking of recording studios, there was one in Tarpon Springs called the 420 Recording Studio, where the Stones, Great White, and other big acts that were at. This is in Tarpon Springs, Florida.
Tarpon Springs is really hot, man. Don't forget Clear Track Recording Studios in Tampa Bay now. Clear Track is, and actually I've got their number there. I'm not going to do a promo for them, man. We need a sponsor advertiser. Yes, David J. and Rockit Man. So again, Clear Track, man, get out there because we're going to get a large population for you, man.
Well, the best recording studio in Tampa Bay for like hard rock and stuff like that, that's Morris Sound.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Dynamite.
Morris Sound in Tampa Bay. Yeah. Also, but the most technologically advanced recording studio probably in the country is called Full Sail in Orlando.
Yeah, Full Sail, man. I've heard a lot about that.
They've got. They'll actually take any band that wants to have a recording done, and they'll do it for free. It's done by the students with the teacher supervising. That's a wonderful thing right there.
You know it, man. That gives back some of the major money that a major recording company can earn from a very well-to-do artists out there, especially in Orlando. You've got L.A., New York, Orlando, of course, Nashville and Las Vegas. But, Orlando's in the top 5, probably maybe on the lower end of the list and that. But still, really, it's national and worldwide there. So,
well, the kicker about Full Sail in Orlando is if you really wanted to have something special done, They charge anywhere between $100 and $200 an hour.
Yeah, man. Shit, man. I had a tattoo artist on last night, Rob Rose, man. He was charging like $70 to $150 an hour for like body gloves and that, stating that it takes 25 to 30 hours for a body glove. That runs into thousands of dollars just for the art. But he says it's better to have expensive dermal graphics than cheap, man, because you got to live with the rest of your life, baby.
Jason Bonham, the one who you know as John Bonham's son from Led Zeppelin, says he never dreamed of following in his father's footsteps. But you got to say that's got to be a given right there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's touring with Foreigner right now. He's got to be a great drummer to be able to do that.
Well, in the Song Remains the Same, that DVD that Led Zeppelin did back in the 60s, he had a picture of Jason Bonham as a baby. Hey, all right, drumming and everything, and it was like a God-given blessing that John Bonham's son would come in, even though we had no idea that we would lose John Bonham to death and so forth. So,
Well, I have a little news of Ozzy Osbourne was injured in a home fire. Well, you should put down that hash pipe and quit.
No, I got that one. I got that. This is how it went on. Actually, it was a lamp. What happened? Ozzy Osbourne entered a home fire at his Beverly Hills home on Thursday. That was January 17th, so I was back, but still, he's suffering from it. It says his wife, Sharon Osbourne, very well known as well. Black Sabbath singer suffered facial burns, hair loss, and reopened a cut in his hand made during recent surgery after an unattended candle exploded its glass holder. Actually, Sharon had gone to bed without putting the candle out. Oh, baby!
Oh no!
Yeah. And this is what happened. There was a metal noise. Then her eyes were stinging and her throat was closing up. The Osbournes were upstairs in their mansion. And so Ozzy went down to investigate and discovered the living room in flames. Ozzy attempted to put out or bat out the fire using his arm, which was in a cast following an operation earlier that week. Ozzy's front of his hair is gone, his eyebrows, he skinned cheeks, and his hand started to bleed. Okay, so again, hopefully, we're going to pray for Ozzy getting back. He's a major player on Black Sabbath. They've got a big tour in New Zealand that's underway or, in the works and that. And, he's back with Black Sabbath. Hopefully, of course, the doctors can do amazing things quickly for Ozzy to get him, ready for the show and the concert tour.
It looks like Bob Seger is teaming up with Kid Rock. Wow, what a diverse hookup that is.
Definitely, the Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet
Night
Band.
Dreams, things that go back to the 70s there, or middle 70s with Bob. He was taking over all the charts about 76, 77, 78 now, and well on the way. He's very austere, very deep in that. He used his guitars are usually black guitars and kind of very appropriate for his gray hair now. It's very striking with his gray beard, and he's got a big, tall guy. So interesting image there on stage with Bob Seger. Of course, Kid Rock is another area, really long hair, different looking, a lot thinner in that. Shows a lot of skin on stage, and that usually wears a hat. So, the two are going to really complement each other. The dark and the light, baby.
It looks like Metallica is revealing details about a 3D movie that they're actually going to be doing. It's going to be released very soon, so we'll be watching out for that.
Said anything with talent in 3D, man, it's going to put you in another dimension when you probably go into the fourth dimension too, man.
Yeah, man, I'm going to take a little acid and just go in there just totally stoned.
Oh, wow, man. Gee, hey, anyway.
We don't promote drugs, but we do rock and roll and maybe something of a sexual nature, when it comes to a beautiful woman. But this is one of the things that we're doing. Oh, Guns N' Roses is always doing a 3D movie, so that ought to be something else too.
Get that depth in there, that three-dimensional. Get those glasses on. Everybody in the theater with their glasses, going out, Google. Everybody looks funny and everything. Oh, I can see that, Okay. I'll take them off and that. And the kids love the three-dimensional stuff. It's like Disney and stuff. They're in another world. So that's another element to the overall presentation of a production that is very expensive and at the same time so elaborate for the audience to really get in to the depth, to get not only on the two-dimensional kind of Euclidean type of presentation, very square, but the three-dimensional, man, well-rounded.
Megadeth's David Ellefson unveils a new signature bass that he's going to be putting out for sale for people in a production bass, of course.
Rockit Man knows a lot about bass, man. He's got some amazing bass, and he wants to do some auctioning of equipment and so forth and that.
Oh, yeah, we'd like to auction off some equipment. I have some 24-channel boards, 1,000-watt crown amps and VHS amps and super 18-inch woofers and all that kind of stuff. If anybody's actually interested in buying equipment and stuff like that, just give us a call at 727-597-4022. Or if you'd like for us to help you auction off one of your instruments for you, just give us a call, 727-597-4022. If you have any comments or questions, please give us a call on the Rockit Man Show.
Yeah, you know it, man. Advertising, sponsors, man, you're always welcome here. You know, we give you your time. Also, we're looking to get back into the concert scene to where we can get it there, get some really good clips for the bands out there. We want to get an inside look going the backstage, and that we always produce a product for you that you can visually see and experience as we get our writings down and our composition from the show. So people, get out there. Call in 727-597-4022. Let the Rockit Man and David J, of course, David J Rocks J as well, man. Let us know what's happening with you. We will get a product out to you that you will be very proud of, man.
Now, here's a little funny news about Justin Bieber. It seems he's under investigation for a Nerf assault. What was it? Nerf football or something they threw at some of the audience people? I have no idea. And now, also a little bit of news about some of one of my favorite actors, Burt Reynolds, was in the hospital intensive care over this weekend. So we wish all the best for you, Burt.
Of course, the Smokey and the Bandits was one of his really amazing movies, and that. And with what's that? Sally Fields was in that one too. Mm-hmm. That was some pretty good scenes in that car there. That Trans Am, right? With the Eagle Trans Am and jumping the bridges and that. He's a wild and crazy guy. I think they live down there in Florida. That's Apollo Beach or somewhere down there.
He owns a huge ranch here.
Jupiter Beach. Yeah, man. That's where they. Burt Reynolds lives in Jupiter, Florida, so that's a very exclusive area. I believe that's Palm Beach. Oh yeah, okay.
Well, the new Star Wars movie is coming out. Episode 7 is to be directed by J.J. Abrams. So we will be looking out for that. It'd be something very interesting to see. Let's see here. What do we have for?
Well, he had mentioned the Aerosmith tour and that, and this is an interesting concept. The Aerosmith team are teaming up with Carrie Underwood for a new single. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, I mean, Stephen will dig Carrie. Oh yeah, but what's the baseball bat? You don't want to bash in his truck now. Aerosmith are kicking off the 2013 with the release of a new single from their latest album on top, Music from Another Dimension. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, here's a little news about how to all of you Van Halen fans. David Lee Roth is hinting very strongly about a tour announcement with the band. So that should be something else. Personally, myself, I liked it when it was Van Hagar because I think that Sammy Hagar has a much better voice than David Lee.
Hey, did you know that Eddie Van Halen was at that NAMM show? That's the National Association of Music Merchants. And you know how I found out about it? Joanna Hayes, who's a Facebook friend. She's an amazing model that goes around to all these shows in California, Florida, and New York. She was there, and on Facebook, she mentioned that she had a chance to talk with Eddie Van Halen, and that I had no clue, so I wanted to pull that out. And that's, like in real time, there's so much you can use in networking with the Facebook activity stuff. Yeah.
You know what would be a funny interview with Eddie Van Halen? Just asking him how it was to be with what was her name? The woman that he married off of the TV show.
It must have been a tall blonde. I am sensing a vision.
Valerie Bertinelli.
Oh, no.
Valerie Bertinelli.
Man, I was wrong, man.
If you were to go up to him and interview him and say, and he would automatically think that you're going to interview him about him, right?
Yeah.
And you go up to him and say, "How was it like to be with Valerie Bertinelli?"
Oh man, you could write a story about that, there, right?
Yeah, you could.
And Valerie, if you're listening, call in, please. 727-597-4022. Also, any audience here in Tampa Bay and around the world, hey, this number is worldwide. You can dial it direct and get right to our studio right here in beautiful beautiful Clearwater Studio 1 here, Rock Slam Radio.
On the Rockit Man Show. Now I have a little news about Geddy Lee of Rush. You know, the singer of Rush. He's actually going to be on a TV series guest appearance on How I Met Your Mother. How is that going to work out?
I'd like to know some of those stories. That sounds like a real interesting meeting mothers and so forth, man. It's a long time. That's some personal history, and then the kids
mothers?
love it. Yeah.
No. That's it's the movie. It's the TV series called How I Met Your Mother. Don't you remember that? No,
I don't know if I ever saw that show, man. I'm kind of reading into the title.
No, say it isn't so.
Oh God, I'm so ignorant of television. I just want to. I like I'm performing, doing things, but you know, there are so wonderful like CNN, great news items and so forth. But I get that off of Twitter now. You know, I'm doing so much off the internet that. You know, though one of my daughters actually is going to set up a TV for a 40-inch screen. You know, it's kind of minimal, but still, you know, it's a great, screen, a flat screen TV. You know what I'm doing? I'm just going to plug my computer in and just stream right off of it. And that, you know, yeah, there's so much more knowledge with. See, the computer is so interactive, and the television is mostly one-sided. Though, you know, they're trying to open it up a little bit more. But you know, you can learn so much more from the computer technology and that.
Oh yeah, because of the computers, we can actually play some of our music over on the computers and it makes it so much easier than say an MP3 player.
That's why there's so much creativity in it. You know, the beauty about the television, and always has been, is you have a concept, you have a producer, you have directors, and of course the actors and interpretation of how they present it and carry over a storyline. But that's theirs. Now, you know, and all of my professors, and as I was teaching composition, they always used to say, well, you know, if you only look at the movie, like Shakespeare, I mean, you only get one side. But if you read the literature, so many of the students would not read the literature to get all the sides in that, you know.
Did you know that the Scorpions were in retirement?
I had no clue. What a name. Where would they get a name like that? They must be animalistic or something.
They were probably out in the desert getting into a little... what I forget what that is. Anyway, so the Scorpions are coming back on the rock and roll circuit. So be on the lookout for something like that.
You know, it gets close to the Lizard King, and we all know who the Lizard King is, don't we?
Oh
the
yeah,
desert,
Jim Morrison.
The desert scene, the peyote.
Yeah,
and that, you know.
That's what they were after out in the desert, the peyote.
Man. Yeah, scorpions, too. Man, cactus and that, the water. And there's so much good things there, you know.
Well, the Lizard King still lives in Paris, France. I wish he would call us up and say, hey, I'm getting back into the doors, and I'm going to tour the world and with dates that will all be sold out.
You know what, man?
Here he goes. He's gearing up.
Well, you know the day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide. Break on through to the other side. Break on through now. Well, we chased our pleasures here, dug out treasures there, but you still recall the time we cried. Everybody loves my baby, she gets high. She gets high. Higher, higher. I found an island in your arms, country in your eyes, arms that chain, our eyes that lie. Break on through to the other side. Break on through now, yeah. Break on through, yeah. Yeah, I had to get into that, man. We mentioned Jim Morrison, man. He's been kind of vibing on me for like about 3 years, man. I don't know where. I've been reading that article in Rolling Stone about the gravesite from Meisner, and then doing some of the Doors songs in that in a very kind of very rudimentary and fundamental. I'll say that E minor D, baby, and slides and bends in that.
Jim Morrison, we know you're alive and well in Paris. Now, we dare you to call into the show here and tell us, surprise the world that you're still around and you really want to go on tour with the Doors again. How about that? 727-597-4022. Come on, tell me it and say it isn't so.
You know it, man. It is so. It is happening, and that it is amazing about some of the visions that people see, and actually that vision of the image of Jim Moore looks just like him at the front of his gravesite. It was kind of a tomb there in in Paris, a gravesite where many famous artists are. But on the other side of here, on Friday, Allman Brothers Band, and Allman Brothers are number 2 on live performance at Fillmore East live. That was in New York City. Friday, the Allman Brothers Band releasing the first concert following Dwayne's death. The Allman Brothers Band have set a February 12th release date for 2 classic live performances, one from 1972 and one from 1973, which were captured on a 2-track reel-to-reel soundboard master tape, man. I mean, that is freaking old, man. In 1972, hometown show took place on February 11th in Macon, Georgia, and was the band's first concert following Dwayne Allman's death. The concert featured an original members, keyboardist Greg Allman's drummers, Butch Trucks, and J-Mo. Oh, yeah. Bassist Barry Oakley and guitarist Dickie Betts were the players. The other live recording being released took place on May 1st, 1973 at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, and featured a different lineup of the group, which included Chuck Leavell and Lamar Williams. Second all-time live performances, according to Rolling Stone, the Fillmore East in New York City, the Greg Allman, I should not say Greg, but the Allman Brothers Band in that major.
And it looks like Guns N' Roses is going to Australia. It says reportedly that they won't keep the Aussie fans waiting. So it's off to Australia with the Guns N' Roses. So if you're a Guns N' Roses fan in Aussie, enjoy yourself and have a great time.
You know, that's amazing. There's so many of the artists, especially the British artists, are going to down under, the Australian, New Zealand scene. Of course, this time of year, weather's pretty good down there, and it is such Australia is a continent, and it has a very diverse landscape, and that's it's probably interesting for the players to view the animal scene and so forth. And we love that scene.
Now, Megadeth is recording their final track for their new album. That ought to be interesting. Deep Purple's new album title is Still Up in the Air. What do you think about that?
Well, Deep Purple didn't get inducted into the Rock and Roll, even though they were nominated for the class of 2013. And I've got the inductees now for the 2013, and that's going to be televised April, I believe that's 18th at the Nokia Center in Los Angeles, where you have Rush is inducted, Public Enemy, Heart, Randy Newman, Donna Summer, and Albert King posthumously. Lou Adler and Quincy Jones will both receive their Ahmet Ertegun Award for non-performer. So again, that's the Rock and Roll class of 23, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Cleveland, that are the new inductees in it.
You remember who Jessica Simpson was, right?
Well, man,
Yeah.
I tell you, man, she is awesome. That woman that is a major beauty. And again, the older she gets, she actually, especially having more kids and so forth, she's getting even more attractive the older she gets. I mean, every time I see a picture of her, I was like, oh, Jessica, where have you been all my life?
Well, Jessica Simpson is having a new sitcom. Has a new sitcom coming up.
Oh, that's going to do it for me there. The sitcom area with Jessica. What kind of role is she going to play in anyway?
I'm not really sure. I'm just reading off some of the highlights that I've picked up.
If I was creative, I would think she was going to be a young, hot model in a family with very conservative, psychologist-oriented parents that are very intellectual, and she's so trendy, a yuppie, trendy LA Valley girl, really, and digging it and making a lot of money in those hot convertible sports cars. But right now, I don't know. She's a mom and everything, so who knows where she's at. Another one that's really awesome is Katy Perry, though. Katy Perry, did you see the picture on Facebook of where the monkey was holding? She was holding a monkey so near and dear to her. I said to myself, I never, ever wanted to be a monkey in my life. But, God, I wanted to at that moment.
It looks like here's a little news about someone in country music. George Strait is planning his final tour.
Oh, man.
So that ought to be something to look into.
I got to follow that up. Where'd you get that? Country Weekly or somewhere? Man, George Strait is a major guy. Man, he's getting up there, but he's got the whole style for Texas, that cowboy image in that.
Well, you got to admire those who are old like that, that actually keep going on. Sort of like Johnny Cash when Johnny Cash ended, when his life ended, he was actually on top. He had a big hit record, and he was making money. So I guess that was planned so his offspring could have the proceeds from that.
Well, again, also we offspring needed too, baby. And again, if they, Howard Hughes. You think about Howard Hughes. Actually, when he started, and that was going in the 30s, his dynasty. He had an inheritance. I think it was close to $300,000. I mean, it goes back to the old saying: it takes money to make money. So the Hughes family were well-to-do. Same thing with the Trumps. The Trump family, Donald's father was an extremely successful developer and builder in the New York area. So, a lot of these people come on and you look at a variety of people and you ask yourself, how they get where they're at. Well, it's good genes, man. And also people that are making some good decisions in people's lives. So, that's really part and parcel of the family scene. It's like family friendly. It's like the family gym, and that everybody's pulling together, baby. Send that money on down to the offspring.
This looks like Lady Gaga and Kelly Osbourne feud is continuing.
Oh, no.
Knockdown, drag out. Might as well be on the Jerry Springer Show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. We can see them duke it out and that, and grab each other, pull their hair, and that. Have the guys, the big guys come in between them. I always like to see that back and forth. You wonder if they're really digging it, or that just comes on when the audience is there. And I want an audience, man. And when we do this stuff, I want 100 people in the audience and that. Knock those walls out, man. Then we can go up there and do some stand-up and that, move around like Johnny Carson, right?
And Britney Spears actually quit on the X Factor. Why would she do that? She was making lots of money with them.
Britney Spears, oh my God, I can't believe her quitting on anything. She is such a challenge and such a dynamic woman in that with her dance modes. I remember when she started in California and did that dance scene on that pier with her first group of dancers. And I mean to tell you, she was just off the freaking track in that. But the thing is, I think of Jessica Simpson and Britney Spears and I really see a beauty coming out in Jessica that I haven't quite envisioned, except when I saw the dog that Britney was holding on Twitter. And I said, what a beautiful scene. That is off the track. She loves her animals, and I love her. Thank you very much for that scene, and thank you for Twitter. Showing those scenes with holding, a lot of the ladies out there, that, the major stars, they love their animals so much, and they're really, animal rights people and that. So it's very near and dear. But God, I wish I was an animal.
Speaking of the NAMM show, Eddie Van Halen actually visited the show, which probably was quite a thrill for those who are big fans of Eddie Van Halen. So keep a watch, people. You'll probably see some new things in rock news, and we'll bring it to you here on the Rockit Man Show.
Yeah, and some of the interesting. I got 10 of the 50 best albums of 2012 from Rolling Stone magazine. The number 10 is Neil Young and Crazy Horse, a psychedelic pill. Number 9 is Japandroids, Celebration Rock. Number 8 is Green Day, Uno. 7 is Eduardo Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros, Here. Number 6, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Number 5, Fiona Apple, The Idler Wheel is Wiser. Number 4, now we're getting down there, Bob Dylan, The Tempest. 3, Jack White, Blunderbuss. 2, Frank Ocean, Channel Orange. The number one album of 2012, according to Rolling Stone magazine, is The Wrecking Ball by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Bands. That's their 17th album, man. Bruce Springsteen had a major impact on 2012 as well as his political orientation and support for the presidential campaign. And that he took a chance there, and he really won big time.
It looks like you have some strange news about Justin Bieber. A photographer who was following him was killed in his car. Now, and just because he wants to take a few pictures doesn't mean you got to shoot him. Come on. Get with the program.
Wow, man. I mean, some of the paparazzi, a lot of them are they're trying to make a living, and they're photographers. And so, again, the way this is I will venture opinion. I like to be pretty factual, but, if you're a public figure making a major amount of money from popularity and fan base, you got to allow the paparazzi to get around, and take the pictures. And again, if they have taste, they won't be coming into your bedroom and taking pictures of it when you're banging your girlfriends now. Okay, come on, give me a break, baby. I mean, a lot of them are using technology that are very insidious. That is very insidious with the telescopic lens, and when they invade somebody's privacy. But looking at it from a perspective of popularity, you got to allow it to happen. And so when I see some of the guys, rich and famous, walking down from clubs with their girlfriends and a paparazzi sticking the camera in their face, and then one of the guys knocking the camera and hurting the cameraman. I think that's kind of bullying stuff. Let them do it now, as long as they don't stick the camera in your nose and bust your lip or something. Then you got a right to protect yourself. But it's got to go on.
Here's a little news. Aerosmith teams up with country singer Carrie Underwood.
Exactly, man. Yeah, I got one of those.
For a new single. This ought to be very interesting. You know how country and rock are so close together?
You know it, man.
Sometimes you can't even tell. They're using even what we call a distortion box.
It's kind of like this is where it came from. And it came from a single, Can't Stop Loving You, features a duet with Steven Tyler and American Idol Carrie Underwood. The decision to ask Underwood to sing on the track and enhance the country flavorings was natural. Tyler had previously duetted on a mashup of Carrie's hit, Undo It, and Aerosmith's Walk This Way at the 46th Annual Academy of Country Awards in 2011. So in early 2012, the two were paired for a CMT Crossroads special. Country rock mix, big fans following Money Must, big time, man. So again, that whole mix, they had worked together. Steven Tyler and Carrie Underwood had worked together. So they actually the way it happened. I think they were in California when it happened. They didn't give the direct, but actually Steven Tyler he was with his producers, and he called him up at the spur of the moment. And Carrie Underwood was actually going out of town. But that night, he must have called her in early evening, but she immediately changed her immediate plans and went over to do the recording and that. That's how, intense it was. And that, so, it was a spur of the moment thing. And it happened. Even Joe Perry wasn't informed until, right after it was actually the connection was happening. So it happened so fast. It was like a eureka type of thing, a discovery that was so amazing. And we're looking forward to hearing that new one coming out. That's the single "Can't Stop Loving You." Okay, that sounds pretty good with Steven Tyler and Carrie Underwood, right?
Oh yeah, the Blackhearts guitarist Ricky Byrd is releasing a solo album, so that should be interesting. Sheryl Crow dodges tough questions about Lance Armstrong. That Lance kind of took those drugs that enhanced his performance as a bicyclist. Why didn't he just try to go straight and do it the right way so he wouldn't be discovered? He actually admitted on TV and that he did all of this stuff, and they still took away his championships. And so, his recognition for that. So, Alicia Keys is going to reinterpret the national anthem at the Super Bowl, so that ought to be interesting. Stevie Nicks is teaming up with Lady Gaga.
Yeah, you mentioned Alicia You said was that Alicia Keys in that? No, that
Yeah,
was
Ali-
Beyonce.
Alicia
Beyonce.
Keys.
We were. That's another item. Another argument. I think I'm going to hold on that. I don't want to go into an opinion again and that. So we'll just go ahead and let it.
Now this is for all those who like pop music. New Kids on the Block, Boys to Men, and 98 Degrees plan a summer tour. So that ought to get your rocks off for all those who like just pretty much pop music.
The boys bands are so exciting for the young teeny boppers and Tweeterbirds, and I tell you, they like to get up there, and that's kind of like with the Madonna set. The Bobby Sockers went back in the 80s and that. And it's kind of interesting. I love to see clips of the live concerts with those stars and that, and with their fans up front on the stage line. Because it amazes me how they want to dress like their favorite artist. They are so much into them, and it's so exciting to see that kind of matching up and that feeling and see what comes out of maybe some of those people that are really relating with the major stars, that dressing like them and going to their concerts. Maybe they want to express themselves through music or somehow whatever they do, that music makes things happen for them in their lives and that.
So Journey and Rascal Flatts plan a Super Bowl Crossroads tour. So that ought to be interesting. The Foo Fighters are going to induct Rush into the Rock Hall of Fame.
Wow,
so
man!
That ought to be something else too. Pearl Jam is going to teases those two for a big stadium show. Oh, that ought to be something different. Jagger hits more Rolling Stones tour plans.
Oh yeah, the Stones will be on tour this year for sure, and it's been in the works for months now. And that after their 5 set last year towards the end with the Sandy and the 12-12-12 stuff,
And Rush plans a North American tour. I saw them in 2004, and they were excellent. 3.5 hour show. Geddy Lee, let's see, Alex Lyson, and Neil Peart. You guys are terrific. I would love to see your show again. And if you would like to be interviewed by our show here, this is the Rockit Man Show at 727-597-4022. Please give us a call, and we'll arrange it to make it so. Okay, let's see.
Let me tell you, the .com world is amazing, and the way it can be spread throughout the world. We've never been, really comprehending this and how powerful it is. The only thing is it gets jammed up. That's the main problem I see, that when the information superhighway, somebody like the traffic gets on it, and the idea of being able to open it up so it's a little bit smoother, that's probably one thing to work on in that,
Well, I think we're going to listen to some local talent here as far as the music goes. So if we can get our engineer to pick out something for us, we'll let you know what we have around the Tampa Bay area for local talent. So,
yeah, Adam doing a great job over there, right here at Tampa Bay, man, making it happen here, down there at Cafe. Hey, man,
go,
great to meet
Adam,
you,
go.
baby. Yeah. I think I'll go over there and do Satisfaction at Jack's Point tonight and kill the K. Oh, man.
Okay, I think he's still going on that. Steve Martin and Eddie Brockel announced a North American tour. Steve Martin, I'd love to see him play.
A banjo, man, is amazing.
Oh yeah, he's a
Yes,
great
the bluegrass
musician
stuff is
too.
awesome.
Oh yeah, he does. I remember when he was younger on Johnny Carson, he was doing flips and stuff. He was acrobatic too, man. Really,
Saturday Night Live.
wild
was
and
his
crazy
big thing,
guy, man. Yeah.
too. Oh, well, we got a song coming up.
Woke up this morning, looked in the mirror. I couldn't believe the bruises on my face. Got into a fight with you last night. How bad was your eyes? Somebody tell me why.
James Brown movie by Mick Jagger.
Yes, Mick Jagger is actually co-producing a James Brown movie. This is something news. We'll try and keep you all up to date on what's coming up in rock and roll news. This is the Rockit Man Show, and we want to say thank you for tuning in, and hope that you'll be able to come in on our show next week when we have Toxic Love for our guests next week on the 4th. I believe that's the 4th, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Super Bowl Sunday is February 3rd. That's when Dave J. Rock to J show's on, and I'm going to have Josephine Carter.
Is that when the Super Bowl is?
February 3rd, yeah, Sunday. Yeah, so, everybody watching the Super Bowl, you get that computer out there, and click on Roxanne Radio, J, and then 4th, the Rockit Man Show.
All right.
Yeah, big month.
We want to say thank you for calling to tuning into the Rockit Man Show. We hope to see you next week from 7:30 to 8:30. And we want to say thank you and see you then for the Rockit Man Show. See you.
Another fine show from rockslamradio.com. Yeah.